Hello, good morning. It is Saturday, next day. We watched one and a half, one and a half episodes of P&P, Pride and Prejudice, the BBC 1995 miniseries. And I have a lot of thoughts that we'll talk about later. But we're about to go get breakfast. But I just wanted to check in and say hello and good morning. See you in a bit. Hello. So we are back from brunch and I have been messing around. I got these adapters. You can see it. So I got these adapters for my little mic here that I should, well, I can use with my phone. But I was hoping that with this adapter, I would be able to connect it to the camera because my Canon EOS, whatever this one is, Canon EOS something otherwise, it does not have the ability to mount an external mic, and there's no like aux cord or anything like that for this camera. So it presents a bit of a challenge because the sound quality could be better, but I can't add an external mic. So I saw somebody on Reddit post something about using one of these, which plugs into like where the HDMI is, and it didn't work because this needs power and it's not going to gather power from this camera. And then when I put a power source in it, the mic connected, but then the camera said it was busy because I think it was identifying that it was like streaming or whatnot. But I did change a setting, so I am going to see if that makes a difference on the camera to see if it makes the audio quality a little less grainy when we're taking videos like this. It does mean that I still need to be pretty close to the camera so you can hear me appropriately. The alternative is, recording separately, but I tend to mess up a lot. So I feel like then I would be trying to splice and dice the audio, and it could be a bit troublesome. So we'll see. Perhaps that is what we'll do in the future. I might just take my mic and set it up with our GarageBand or my Adobe Audition, and just have that going at the same time, take that recording, and then go ahead and pop it into the video. So we'll see. We might try both. But at this point, I wanted to chat a little bit about Pride and Prejudice, the 1995 limited series. So let me grab my tablet. Okay, so we watched, I actually think I watched the first 2 episodes, so it's a 6-part series. I'm sure many of you have seen it before. Let's see. No, I am in episode 2. So episode 1 takes us from the start of Pride and Prejudice up until we get back from Jane being sick at Netherfield, and then episode 2 opens up with, episode 2 opens up with Jane coming back home, and then they are chatting about Mr. Collins' visit, and Mr. Collins comes to visit. So at the present moment, they are they still at her aunt's? No, they are at the Bennett's house. They're at Longbourn, and they just got an invite to the Netherfield Bowl. So that's where we're at, about halfway through episode 2. So I was contemplating whether or not to continue watching that, or what we could do is I do have the audiobook of Emma, and I was thinking that perhaps, because we had talked about this, so a long, long time ago, I got this Jane Austen 4 classic novel edition, and I don't like book jackets when I read. And so my younger self would just take the book jacket and lose it, dispose of it. I don't know. So I was thinking, since we have a couple hours before I have to leave, and I don't have much planned for this video, to be honest. Time just got away from me this week, and we did have our little vintage shopping video. But since we are still within working through our Jane Austen reading journey, and I am filming all of those clips separately for that vlog, I thought perhaps paint the front of this book. So I'm only saying the front because the front would need to dry first, and then the back, but I was thinking that we would decorate this to look a little prettier than it does right now. So it's pretty plain. So I thought we could add some of that, like kind of that Regency print sort of thing. I thought maybe even I could attempt at some point to do like a Jane Austen like cameo look or something like that. I've also contemplated doing quotes or things like that, but I think like definitely flowers would be nice, keeping some of this coloring because I do think this is a good backdrop. So doing some flowers on here, maybe adding a little something to this edge, I don't know. But that was what I was thinking we could do for today. I don't know, maybe we will continue watching P&P for a little bit and paint some flowers on the book. And then we could chat a little more about it. I will say that I have some clips which I will probably go through with you all and just point out some quotes that I definitely heard in Pride and Prejudice directly from the book that they took. One of the first ones that I noticed was that when they announce Bingley coming to the area and purchasing Netherfield, it's actually done with the Bennets leaving church. And I think that was basically because it's more interesting of a shot than it would be to have them announcing that in the house. I think that's primarily the reason they did it that way. I do always think it's interesting when you're looking at like TV show adaptations and movie adaptations to see how they're translating something that happened in the book to the screen, because often what happens is it's going to have to be changed because some things that are in a book that are interesting, like an interesting conversation, the dialogue is what we're focused on as a reader. And you can do that in a movie, but sometimes it's not as cinematically, as visually stimulating as having that conversation with the characters walking from church and kind of getting their different reactions. And also we got like one of our first quotes right there when they're walking out of the church, where Lizzie actually uses the very first quote. She says that it is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. So Lizzie actually says that as they are walking from church to head back to Longbourn, and her mother is talking about Mr. Bingley with Mr. Bennet. But anyway, I said I wasn't going to get all into that, but let's go ahead and get set up to do a little painting, to do a little watching, and we'll come back and chat a little bit. It's kind of gross water, to be honest.